So it's back. I did a video on this last time. However, the simulator was lost, so just act like it never happened. Special thank you to Luke Acosta Nessie 5123 for the idea. So without further ado, here's who made it onto the show. For Team OGs, we have the three most voted people: Leshana, Heather, and Duncan. For the rest, we have Gwen, Lindsay, Harold, Noah, Cody, Sadie. I'm genuinely surprised she made it over Tyler, but I'm so happy she's getting more love. Anyways, the last two people are Justin and, surprisingly, Ezekiel. For Team Reboots, we have the three most voted people: Bowie, Damien, and Scary Girl. For the rest, we have Priya, Julia, Z, Millie, Wayne, MK, Axel, and Caleb. So now, the teams are done, and let's get started. Leshana feels a small bond toward Cody. Noah and Justin feel a mutual slight dislike toward one another. Justin feels slight dislike toward Ezekiel. Gwen feels a slight bond toward Noah. Heather and Duncan feel a mutual slight bond toward one another. Ezekiel and Cody feel a mutual slight bond toward one another. Sadie and Cody feel a mutual slight bond toward one another. Sadie and Justin feel a mutual slight dislike towards one another. Gonna skip Team Reboot because everyone hated each other. But if you wanna see it, here you go. One camper on Team OGs doesn't jump and must wear a chicken hat. Okay, so this might screw you up. Unfortunately, two campers on Team Reboot don't jump and must wear chicken hats. Probably really wanted a chicken hat. Team OGs, get the wagons. Chris deems the Reboot's hot tub better. Team Reboot, win. Invincibility. Gwen has a major meltdown. Honestly, that's fair. Duncan and Lindsay have a minor disagreement. An alliance between Leshana, Heather, and Duncan forms. I hope this alliance goes far. Cody is targeting Gwen because he considers her somewhat weak. Justin is targeting Ezekiel because he just doesn't like him. MK and Z have a minor disagreement. Caleb and Millie have a major fight. An alliance between Scary Girl and Z forms.
You already know how this works, so let's get on with it. The campers receiving a marshmallow are Noah, Lindsay, Leshana, Harold, Sadie, Cody, Duncan, Ezekiel, Gwen, Heather, and Justin have not yet received a marshmallow. Justin and Heather both received a marshmallow. The final marshmallow goes to Gwen. Zeke must walk the dock of shame and take the boat of losers.
If you want to see the votes, here you go. Cody feels medium dislike toward Gwen. Justin feels medium dislike toward Gwen. And so does Duncan. Lindsay and Duncan also don't like each other. Harold and Cody feel mutual medium dislike toward one another. So does Noah and Cody. Harold feels medium dislike toward Gwen. Leshana and Duncan feel a mutual small bond toward one another. Leshana and Cody feel a mutual slight bond toward one another. Gwen feels a slight bond toward Harold. Sorry, Gwen, but Harold don't like you. The only people that like each other on this team are MK and Axel, Scary Girl and Caleb, and Z and Priya. So, literally everyone from Team Reboot fell asleep. Team OGs win invincibility.
Flawless victory.
Gwen and Heather bond slightly, which is very unexpected. Gwen and Harold have a minor disagreement. It has a lasting impact. Cody has a major meltdown. An alliance between Gwen, Harold, Heather, and Sadie forms. This alliance is going to be so dysfunctional. Axel and Scary Girl find something in common. Bowie and Z have a minor disagreement. It has a lasting impact. Julia is targeting Z because she doesn't like him. Scary Girl is targeting Wayne for the same reason. Millie is targeting Julia because she considers her somewhat weak. Z is targeting Bowie because he strongly dislikes him.
No time to yap, it's time to get rid of one of you idiots. The people receiving a marshmallow are Z, Scary Girl, MK, Julia, Damien, Priya, Millie, Axel, Bowie, Caleb, and Wayne have not yet received a marshmallow. Caleb, don't worry, you're safe. And Axel, the final marshmallow goes to Bowie. Wayne must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
Once again, here are the votes. Noah and Cody feel mutual extreme hatred toward one another. These two don't like each other. Gwen and Cody also don't like each other. Justin dislikes Gwen. Lindsay and Duncan also don't like each other. Duncan feels medium dislike toward Gwen. Harold feels medium dislike toward Gwen. Sadie and Harold feel a mutual small bond toward one another. Duncan and Cody feel mutual dislike toward one another. The only people that like each other on this team are MK and Axel and MK and Caleb, Julia and Damien, and Z and Scary Girl. Teams must compete in a game of Dodgeball. 5 campers are chosen from each team. Team OGs win the round. They have 1 point. 5 campers are chosen from each team. Team OGs win the round. They have 2 points. 5 campers are selected from each team. Team Reboot win the round. They have 1 point. You already know what I'm about to say. Team OGs win the round. They have 3 points. Team OG win invincibility. Pretty much the only thing that happens on Team OGs is Justin and Sadie have a small fight. Caleb and Priya have a minor disagreement. It has a lasting impact. Caleb and MK bond strongly. It has a lasting impact. An alliance between Caleb, Damien, Julia, MK, and Priya forms. This is a very interesting group. Z is targeting Bowie becuase. He extremely despises him. Bowie is targeting Julia because he doesn't like her. Damien is targeting Scary Girl because he considered her a little weak.
If you receive a fake marshmallow, you're safe. The campers receiving a marshmallow are Z, Priya, MK, Damien,
Caleb,
Axel, Bowie, Julia, Millie, and Scary Girl have not yet received a marshmallow. Millie and Scary Girl received a marshmallow. The final marshmallow goes to Julia. Bowie must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
Here are the votes. These are the only 2 people that like each other on this team. MK and Caleb feel a mutual, unbreakable bond toward one another. Surprisingly, Priya and Julia feel a bond toward one another. Julia and Damien bond, and pretty much everyone else hated each other. But here, if you want to see them. Teams will choose 3 campers to perform a talent show, and Chef Hatchet will rate them. The team with the best rating wins immunity. Team OGs select Duncan, Noah, and Say D, while Team Reboot selects Caleb, MK, and Scary Girl. Chef gives the win to Caleb, MK, and Scary Girl. Team Reboot wins invincibility. Lashana is impressing the rest of the team. Cody and Sadie have a small fight. An alliance between Gwen, Noah, and Say D forms. Never, ever would think these 3 would form an alliance. Cody is targeting Noah. Cody extremely despises Noah. Harold is targeting Cody because he doesn't like him and considers him somewhat weak. Justin is targeting Say D because he considers her somewhat weak. Duncan is targeting Gwen because he strongly dislikes her. Caleb and Julia find something in common. Axel has a major meltdown. Julia and Priya bond strongly. It has a lasting impact.
Alright, let's get on with it. The campers receiving a marshmallow are Noah, Lashana, Duncan, Heather, Harold, and Gwen. That means Cody, Justin, Lindsay, and Sadie have not yet received a marshmallow. Lindsay and Justin, you both are safe. We have the bottom 2. The one who smiles at every elimination ceremony, and the socially awkward twink. The final marshmallow goes to Sadie. Cody must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
Here are the votes. Here's the alliances if you forgot or just want to make sure. These 2 still don't like each other. Lindsay and Duncan still don't like each other. Say D and Harold feel a medium bond toward each other. Gwen and Noah feel a mutual bond toward one another. Say D and Duncan feel a mutual medium bond toward one another. Say D and Heather also feel a bond towards each other. Look at Say D getting along with everyone. Duncan feels medium dislike towards Gwen. Priya and Julia feel an unbreakable bond toward one another. MK and Caleb also feel an unbreakable bond. Z and Julia feel mutual slight dislike towards me. B another. Millie and Damien feel mutual slight dislike towards one another. Millie and Caleb feel a mutual medium dislike toward one another. Scary Girl feels medium dislike toward Axel. C and Millie also don't like each other. MK feels medium bond toward Damien. Axel feels a medium bond toward Z. Teams must spend the night in the forest. All their essential needs are at separate camps, which they must find using a map and compass. In the morning, the first team back for breakfast wins immunity and junk food. Team Reboot make it back to camp first. They win immunity and junk food in the kitchen. Gwen and Noah find something in common. Duncan and Justine also find something in common. Duncan and Lindsay have major fights. It has a lasting impact. Sadie leaves the alliance with Gwen and Noah to make another alliance with Harold and Justin. Harold is targeting Noah because he doesn't like him. Justin is targeting Lashana because he doesn't like her. Lindsay is targeting Duncan because she extremely despises him. Duncan is targeting Gwen for the same reasons. And Noah considers Justin somewhat weak. Julia and Priya have a major fight. It has a lasting impact. Julia and Z bond strongly. Priya leaves the alliance.
If I hand you a marshmallow, you're safe. The campers receiving a marshmallow are Sadie, Justin, Lindsay, Harold, Heather, Duncan, Gwen, Lashana, and Noah have not yet received a marshmallow. Gwen and Noah are safe. The final marshmallow goes to Duncan. Lashana must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
Lindsay and Duncan feel extreme hatred towards one another. Noah and Gwen feel a storm bond toward one another. Sadie and Justin still don't like each other. Duncan also still doesn't like Gwen. Sadie and Duncan feel a mutual bond toward one another. Harold and Duncan feel a medium bond between one another. Noah and Justin feel a medium dislike toward one another. Noah and Harold feel a mutual medium dislike toward one another. Duncan feels a medium bond toward Heather. Mick feels a strong bond toward Damien. Millie and Damien feel a mutual strong dislike toward one another. Z feels strong dislike toward Millie. Scary Girl feels strong dislike toward Axel. Damien feels medium dislike toward Axel. Millie and Caleb feel mutual dislike toward one another. Z feels medium dislike towards Juliet. Campers must face their fears. Each camper who successfully faces their fear will score a point for their team. The team with the most points wins immunity. Since Team Reboot have 9 members, one camper in Team OGs will compete twice. The challenge begins. The following people overcome their fears: Sadie, Harold, Noah, Gwen, Duncan and Heather, and Justin and Gwen. As for Team Reboots, the people who conquered their fears are Caleb and Z, Damien and Axel, and MK, Millie, and Priya. So, by a score of 8-7, Team OGs win immunity. Duncan and Heather bond slightly. It has a lasting impact. Gwen and Noah have a small fight. Duncan and Lindsay bond strongly. It has a lasting impact. Caleb and Priya bond slightly. Axel is targeting Priya because he considers her somewhat weak. Damien and Millie are targeting each other because they extremely despise one another. Scary Girl is targeting Axel because she doesn't like her, and Z is targeting Julia for the same reason.
If I hand you a marshmallow, you're safe. The campers receiving a marshmallow are Scary Girl, Z, MK, Priya, and Caleb. Axel, Damien, Julia, and Millie have not yet received a marshmallow. Axel and Julia receive a marshmallow. The final marshmallow goes to Damien. Millie must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
Noah and Gwen feel a mutual, unbreakable relationship towards one another. Heather and Duncan feel a mutual, unbreakable relationship toward one another. Lindsay and Duncan still don't like each other. Sadie and Duncan feel a mutual medium bond toward one another. Harold and Duncan feel a mutual bond toward one another. Sadie and Heather feel a mutual bond towards one another. MK and Caleb feel a mutual, unbreakable bond toward one another. MK and Damien feel a mutual, unbreakable bond toward one another. Caleb feels a medium bond toward Z. Priya and Julia feel a mutual medium bond toward one another. Scary Girl and MK feel a mutual bond toward one another. Axel feels a medium bond toward Z. Teams must paddle to Boney Island using canoes. Once there, teams must carry their canoes across the island to the other side. Once on the other side, they must build a fire that must be judged. Then they must race home. First team to bring their canoe back wins immunity. Team OGs reach Boney Island. Team OGs reach the other side of Boney Island and build a rescue fire. Team Reboot reach Boney Island. Team OGs make it back to the starting line. Team OGs win immunity. Justin has a major meltdown. He also leaves the alliance. Axel is impressing the rest of the team. Priya and MK are targeting each other. MK considers Priya somewhat weak, and Priya just doesn't like MK. Damien is targeting Axel becuase. He doesn't like her either. Z and Julia are both targeting each other because they don't like each other.
If I call your name, you're safe. The campers receiving a marshmallow are Priya, Caleb, MK, Scary Girl, and Damien. Axel, Julia, and Z have not yet received a marshmallow. Axel receives a marshmallow. The final marshmallow goes to Z. Julia must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
Okay, so these votes were actually interesting. These 5 were in an alliance until Priya left, so only Julia, Damien, MK, and Caleb are in the alliance. Now look at the votes. They could have voted together and made a tie. Nothing really changes here, but I'm still gonna show you all. Campers are divided into 2 roles, hunters and the deers. The hunters must shoot the deer on the opposite team, while the deer must evade the opposing team. If a deer is shot by a hunter, the deer on the opposite team. The team that has the most deer at the end will immunity. Axel shoots Heather from Team OGs. They are now down to 3. Duncan shoots Caleb from Team Reboot. They are also down to 3. Priya shoots Harold. Team OGs is now down to 2 remaining. Gwen shoots Damien. Team Reboot is down to 2 members. Scary Girl shoots Justin. Team OGs is now down to 1 member. Priya shoots Sadie from Team OGs. They are now down to 0. 2 deer remain for Team Reboot. Team Reboot win immunity, events, and targets. Duncan and Gwen bond strongly. It has a lasting impact. Gwen leaves the alliance. Duncan is targeting Gwen because he considers her somewhat weak. Weren't you guys bonding like 7 seconds ago? You know what? Whatever. Harold is targeting Noah because he strongly dislikes him. Sadie and Justin are both targeting each other cause they both despise each other. Gwen is targeting Heather because she does not like her. Okay, so this is very accurate.
Let's get started on the elimination. The campers receiving a marshmallow are Gwen, Duncan, Lindsay, Heather, and Harold. Justin, Noah, and Sadie have not yet received a marshmallow. Noah receives a marshmallow. The final marshmallow goes to Justin must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
Lindsay feels an unbreakable relationship towards Heather. Noah and Gwen feel a mutual, unbreakable relationship toward one another. And so do Heather and Duncan. Okay, so pretty much everyone is the same except for like two. MK and Caleb feel a mutual, unbreakable relationship toward one another. MK feels an unbreakable relationship toward Axel. Here's the rest because during this time my tired tail needs to go to sleep. Immunity Challenge. Teams must create 3-course meals that will be judged by Chris. They must choose a head chef. The team with the best food wins immunity. Team Reboot chose Scary Girl as head chef, while once again, Heather is the head chef from Team OGs. Team Reboot once again win immunity. Events and targets. I know Duncan and Gwen fans are gonna be happy with hearing this. An alliance between Duncan and Gwen forms. Noah and Sadie are targeting each other because they consider each other little weak. Gwen is targeting Harold for the same reasons. Lindsay is targeting Duncan because she despises him. Heather is targeting Gwen because she considers her somewhat weak.
Scar Girl and C find something in common. That's an odd pair, but anyway.
Child. Anyway, so
Damien and Z bond strongly. It has a lasting impact. Axel and MK have a small fight. It has a lasting impact. Elimination ceremony. It's time for the ceremony. The campers receiving a marshmallow are Harold, Lindsay, Gwen, Heather, Duncan, Noah, and Sadie have not yet received a marshmallow. Noah receives a marshmallow. The final marshmallow goes to Duncan. Sadie must walk the dock of shame and board the boat if losers.
These people have an unbreakable relationship. Lindsay still feels extreme hatred toward Duncan. Noah and Lindsay feel a mutual strong dislike toward one another. Lindsay feels a medium bond toward Gwen. Harold and Heather also feel a mutual bond toward one another. Noah and Duncan feel a mutual medium bond toward one another. Harold feels a small bond toward Lindsay. Pretty much everything stays the same. But here you go.
Girl, what the fuck?
Gwen and Noah compete for Team OGs, while MK and Z compete for Team Reboot. Gwen and Noah score a point for Team OGs. Damien and Scary Girl compete for Team Reboot, while Harold and Duncan compete first Team OGs. Damien and Scary Girl score a point for Team Reboot. Priya and Z compete for Team Reboot, and Heather and Lindsay compete for Team OGs. Priya and Z win for Team Reboot. Axel and Caleb compete for Team Reboot, while Harold and Noah compete for Team OGs. Harold and Noah win for Team OGs. Gwen and Heather compete form Team of Gs, and Damien and MK compete for Team Reboot. Damien and MK win for Team Reboot. So by a score of 2-1, Team Reboot wins invincibility. Gwen and Heather have a major fight. It has a lasting impact. Duncan and Lindsay have a major fight as well. Heather and Gwen are targeting each other because they both strongly dislike each other. Noah is targeting Harold becuase. He considers him somewhat weak. while Harold is targeting Noah because he doesn't like him. Duncan and Lindsay are targeting each other for the same reason, and this is the only thing that happened on Team OG's.
You better stop this losing streak. Anyways, the campers receiving a marshmallow are Lindsay, Heather, Harold, and Noah. Duncan and Gwen have not yet received a marshmallow. The final marshmallow goes to Duncan. Gwen must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
Once again, everything stays the same. Chef Hatchet has many challenging tasks to do, and campers will have to resist dropping out. The first team to have all their members drop out is up for elimination. Z drops out and Team Reboot is now down to 6 members. Harold and Heather drops out and Team OG's is now down to 3 members. Caleb and MK drop out and Team Reboot are now down to 4 remaining. Damien drops out from Team Reboot. They are now down to 3 remaining. The rest of Team OG stomps out and 3 remain for Team Reboot. Team Reboot win immunity. It's pretty much the same targets as last time, and this is the only thing that happened in Team Reboot.
The campers receiving a marshmallow are Noah, Heather, and Lindsay. Harold and Duncan have not yet received a marshmallow. The final marshmallow goes to Duncan. Harold must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
Same old, same old. Noah and Duncan feel a strong bond toward one another. Noah and Heather feel a mutual slight dislike toward one another. Duncan feels a slight bond toward Lindsay. And like usual, Team Reboot stays the same. For the first part of the challenge for the campers, you will skydive from 5 feet in the air from a plane. For the second part of the challenge, there will be a trivet and a person in the surfboard in mud. The surfer must collect flags and the driver must stop them. The team with the most points will win immunity. Noah and Caleb compete for their teams. Team Reboot win the point. Team Reboot win the point. Team Reboot win immunity. Heather is impressing the rest of the team. An alliance between Duncan, Heather, and Lindsay forms. These four bond slightly. Caleb leaves the alliance, and MK joins the alliance with Z and Scary Girl.
Let's get started. The campers receiving a marshmallow are Heather and Duncan, and the final marshmallow obviously goes to Lindsay. Noah must walk the dock if shame and board the boat if losers.
There's really no point in showing the votes, but here. Alright, next episode. The next episode, the teams will merge, but for right now, they're formed in 2 new groups for the reward challenge. For Team 1, we have Axel, Caleb, Damien, Heather, and MK. And for Team 2, we have Duncan, Lindsay, Priya, Scary Girl, and Z. The status stays the same, so moving on to the reward challenge. 4 members of Team 2 fail to finish, and Team 1 score a point. 3 members from Team 1 fail to finish, and Team 2 score a point. 1 member firm, Team 2 finishes to fail, and Team 1 scores a point. Literally everyone from Team 2 failed to finish their food. 3 members from Team 1 fail to finish. Team 2 score a point. 2 members of Team 1 fail to finish, and Team 2 score a point. 1 member from Team 2 fail to finish. 3 members form Team 2 fail to finish, and Team 1 clutch the win with 5 points. Team 1 win the rumble. Axel and Heather have a minor disagreement. Damien and Heather find something in common. Can someone please tell me what this means? Priya and Z have a small fight. Scary Girl and Z have a major fight. It has a lasting impact. Guys, we have officially reached the merge. However, there is a twist. 2 people who were eliminated will come back. The first person that's rejoining is Cody. The second person rejoining is Ezekiel. Also, the status stays the same, which is sad. Too lazy to type this in. Lindsay is first to get tortured. Her torture is that she must get a haircut with the chainsaw. She passed and moves on. Z's torture is that he must listen to Chef berate him, he fails, and is eliminated. MK's torture is that she must be wrapped around a snake. She fails to complete her torture and is eliminated. Scary Girl's torture is she must milk an angry bull. She passes and moves on. Heather's torture is that she must balance in a log with a bear. She fails and is eliminated. Okay, so I must stop using text-to-speech and just have a montage of what's going on, because this is taking a while to edit. We are now down to our final 2, Lindsay and Scary Girl. Lindsay's torture is that she has to wax her face with marshmallows. She passes her torture. Lindsay wins immunity. Duncan and Heather have a major fight. Z is targeting Duncan becuase. He considers him somewhat of a threat. Scary Girl is targeting Axel becuase. She extremely despises her. Duncan is targeting MK because he considers her a small threat. MK is targeting Priya because she extremely despises her. Priya is targeting Scary Girl because she considers her somewhat threatening. And Heather and Cody are targeting each other becuase. They don't like each other. Before I start the elimination, there is a twist. The players' votes will be revealed in who voted for who.
So you heard the twist, and I will now reveal who voted for who. Axel voted for Scary Girl. Caleb voted for Scary Girl. Cody voted for Scary Girl. Damien voted for Axel. Duncan voted for. Scary Girl. Ezekiel voted for. Scary Girl. Heather voted for. Axel. Lindsay voted for. Scary Girl. MK voted for. Priya. Priya voted for Scary Girl. And Scary Girl and Z voted for Axel. So that means with a total vote of 7 to 4 to 1. Scary Girl must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
This stays the same, so moving on. MK feels an unbreakable relationship toward Axel. Damien and Z feel a mutual, unbreakable bond towards one another. Priya and MK feel a mutual extreme hatred toward one another. Z feels a bind toward Priya. Z feels a medium bond toward Axel. And MK and Damien feel a mutual, unbreakable relationship toward one another. MK could never find a key and wins nothing. Ezekiel wins 2 ships in a bottle. Z wins a toaster. Cody found a dud key and wins nothing. Priya could never find a key and wins nothing. Duncan also found a dud key and wins nothing. Heather wins cologne. Caleb wins a basket which also contains immunity. Lindsay and Axel win a leg lamp. Damien wins an accordion. Caleb wins immunity. Damien and Z bond strongly. Duncan and Ezekiel have a small fight, and the alliance between MK and Z dissolves. The only thing that changed for the targets is Z is targeting Lindsay because he considers her a threat. Everything else stays the same.
Time to lose someone else. The campers receiving a marshmallow are Caleb, Priya, Heather, Ezekiel, Cody, Damien, and Duncan. This means that Axel, Lindsay, MK, and Z have not yet received a marshmallow. Z and MK receive a marshmallow. The final marshals goes to Lindsay must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
This is the only thing that changes. So moving on. Caleb is found by Chef Hatched. Heather is found by Chef Hatchet. Priya is found by Chef Hatchy. Heather is shot by Chef. Heather tags MK and wins immunity. Axel is found by Chef. Caleb is shot by Chef's water gun. Caleb's tags Damien and wins immunity. Priya is shot by Chef Hatchet's water gun. Z is found and shot by Chef Hatched. Duncan is found and shot by Chef Hatchet. Axel makes it to home base without getting shot and wins immunity. Ezekiel makes it to home base without getting shot and wins immunity. Cody is the last camper hiding and wins immunity. 5 campers win immunity. Absolutely nothing changes and nothing happens. So, moving on.
So obviously the 5 people who won immunity are safe. So the campers receiving a marshmallow are Z, Damien, Priya. The final marshmallow goes to MK. Duncan must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
I don't think I need to say it at this point. Z feels a strong bond toward Priya. Heather feels a strong dislike toward Axel. Ezekiel feels a medium dislike toward Axel. And Caleb feels medium dislike towards Damien. MK selects Z's bike. Heather selects Ezekiel's bike. Damien selects Priya's bike. Axel selects Heather's bike. And here's the rest. The only two people that make it across. Heather and Priya. This means Caleb and Ezekiel must compete in the second round, and whoever is the last one to finish is eliminated. The person who makes it and the person who is eliminated is Caleb finishes first and Ezekiel finishes second, which means Ezekiel must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers. An alliance between Axel, Caleb, Cody, Priya, and Z forms. Canoe. The challenge is basically to hide from Chef Hatchet and to not be found. The last person standing wins the challenge, but the person who performs the worst will be eliminated. The first camper killed is Axel. Cody is the next camper killed. Caleb is the next camper killed. Heather is the next one killed. Z is killed. MK is killed. Priya is the next killed. Damien is the last camper alive and wins immunity.
So we are having an automatic elimination. And Axel, you did the worst job in surviving the challenge considering you were the first one out. And this means Axel must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
Z feels a medium dislike toward Heather. For the love of everything that is worth, please don't take the image out of context. Heather and Damien feel a mutual small bond toward one another. Z and Caleb feel a mutual small bond toward one another. The challenge is basically to bring back an animal, and you'll win a feast. Damien selects the duck. Mick selects the bear. Caleb selects raccoon. Cody selects beaver. Priya selects chipmunk. Z selects deer. The challenge begins. Heather brings back the frog and wins reward. So that's pretty much it. But here's everything else. Nothing happens except Priya leaves the alliance, and the targets are the same.
The campers receiving a marshmallow are Z, MK, Damien, and Cody. Caleb, Heather, and Priya have not yet received a marshmallow. Caleb receives a marshmallow. The final marshmallow goes to Priya. Heather must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
Priya feels a small bond toward Z. Z and Caleb feel a mutual bond toward one another. Cody feels medium dislike toward Z. MK feels a medium dislike toward Z. Damien feels a small bond toward Caleb. The challenge is to grab a partner and complete different challenges. The team with the most points at the end wins immunity. The challenge begins. Caleb and Cody win Challenge 1. Damien and MK win Challenge 2. And Oria and C win Challenge 3. No one wins immunity. I bet you were thinking that something changes.
Final 6, soon to be Final 5. Too bad one of you won't be able to experience that. The campers receiving a marshmallow are Z, Cody, Damien. Caleb. That means MK and Priya have not yet received a marshmallow. The final marshmallow goes to Priya. MK must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers. Welcome back, campers. We have a twist. All 17 campers that were eliminated voted off one of you. Z and Damien, you received 0 votes, so you don't have to worry. Priya, your ops voted for you, which is 5 people. And Cody, you also received 4 votes. Unfortunately, Caleb, you received the most votes, being 8. Caleb must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
Is this new?
No.
Damien and Cody feel a mutual small bond toward another. Damien's and Priya feel a mutual slight dislike toward one another. Priya and Cody feel a mutual slight dislike towards one another. Z feels a slight bind toward Cody. The challenge is first the campers to navigate their way back to camp, and the first pair to do so wins immunity. Cody and Z win immunity. The only thing interesting that happens is Z and Priya form an alliance.
I will be hosting today's elimination and I will choose who goes home. The only 2 people who are safe are Cody and Z.
The last one safe is
because I choose to eliminate Damien. Damien must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers.
Guys, we are now down to our top 3. We have Z, Priya, and Cody. And I know you guys are probably upset that Priya made it far again. So I will say that I don't control these simulators. These are bots that come up with the elimination order and the winner. Anyways, who are you rooting for? I won't say who I'm rooting for because I don't want to jinx them. Anyways, let's get on with the episode. Z feels an unbreakable bond toward Priya. Z feels a small bond toward Cody. Cody feels a slight dislike toward Z. Priya and Cody feel a mutual slight bond toward one another. For this challenge, the eliminated campers have placed dares for you to perform. You will spin the wheel and whoever it lands in you will have to do. If you take the dare, you earn a freebie, which means if there's a dare you don't want to do you can use it, and it won't count. If you don't do the dare you will automatically be eliminated from the challenge and the game. Cody goes first and lands on Lindsay. Her dare is to stuff several eggs in his mouth. He passes the dare to Z, and Z completes the dare. For Priya, the wheel lands on Bowie. His dare is for her to drink a smoothing from Chef full of mystery meats. She completes the dare and earns a freebie. The wheel lands on Damien, and his dare for Z is that he must eat a cockroach. Z passes the dare to Cody, and Cody completes the dare. It's Cody's turn and the wheel lands on Sadie. Her dare is for Cody to wear a baby outfit. He passes the dare to Z, and he completes it. It's Priya's turn and her dare is that she must fight an alligator. She passes the dare to Z, and Z completes the dare. It's Z's turn and the wheel lands on Harold. Harold's dare is that he must have a bucket of fresh pig waste dumped on his hair. Then he must be shot out of a cannon into a pile of waste form where the bucket came from. He completes the dare and earns a freebie. It's Cody's turn and the wheel lands on Duncan. Cody's dare is that he must tightrope walk over a shark-infested area while wearing a raw meat while using balance stick that is also covered in raw meat. He passes the dare to Z, but he uses his freebie and has 0 left. It's Priya's turn and the wheel lands on Julia. Her dare is that Priya must have her hair shaved by chef. She does the dare and earns a freebie. It's Z's turn. The wheel lands on Noah and his dare is for Z to be covered in bees. He passes the dare to Priya, but Priya uses her freebie. Cody is up next and the wheel lands in Wayne. His dare is for Cody to put on a play where he must kiss a sock puppet Mad from the sock chef Hatchet is currently wearing. He passes the dare to Z, and Z does not do the dare and is eliminated. Z must walk the dock of shame and board the boat of losers. Guys, we have officially reached the final 2. Without further ado, let's get to the final challenge. Cody has 10 supporters, and Priya has 10 supporters. Cody wears the chicken hat and Priya wears the cow hat. The challenge begins. Cody retrieves the flag. Cody crosses the finish line. The winner of season 1 of this series is Cody. The fact that he was the 4th one vote off, rejoined, and won the entire season is crazy. If you want to see the total drama action cast, here you go. It isn't simulated, it's just kinda there. Look at these placement. Oh my goodness. All I'm gonna say is Damien, Lindsay, Bowie, and SKL were robbed so badly, and Noah and Z were done so dirty. With the whole CapCut and TikTok been going around, it might be a challenge to make a part 2. If you guys would want me to, of course. But in the off chance it doesn't, you guys can recommend any character from any series, movie, cartoon, meme, even food or items. But I hope you guys enjoyed this very long video, and hope you have a nice day. Goodbye.